Oh, okay, so let's see if we are live. Click here at any time to view the post on YouTube. Okay. Oh, this is not um, okay, I am live. I've got to balance some things out. Okay. So now let's do this. Um, okay. All right, let's go to the other camera. I am testing things out, y'all. Testing things out. So let's go to use manual focus, get it focused in. I need to see if I can find the chat. Okay. Video file. That's this chat. Comments and reactions. No comments or reactions. Okay, so I'm going to go to YouTube. Hello, I'm going to share this because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just learning. I need to make sure that people can hear me. And this is like in my way, so let's do this. Share in a group. Journey with Burgess. Okay, and we'll do Twitter. We're gonna do okay. I don't know what that is. Okay. All right. You can hear me? Okay, great. I need to go in and change this. I don't know. Edit video. Is it going to let me do that? It is going to let me do that. Live coffee chat, journals, and more. I don't know what my description is going to be, so we're just going to put one book. July live chat over coffee about journals and more. Okay, we've got public tags. I'm just going to hit send for now because yeah. Okay, so we'll save that for now, and I go back in a little bit and I'll edit what I actually have. Okay, so the great thing is, y'all, I have gone, wow, you're picking audios clear as a bell, loving this new Mac thing you've got. Okay, well, part of it's the Mac, part of it is the Ecamm. I I switched. I actually paid for Ecamm. I got rid of Streamlabs OBS and OBS. I took them off of the computer. Ecamm will actually let you go in and do the settings of your webcams. I got a new face webcam because my old face webcam wasn't compatible with Mac. I also had to rearrange and use my big ring light. The face part is not quite as clear. Let's see if that might help. When there's natural sunlight coming in as when there's not. Because I think the light, the little tiny ring light on my live stream webcam, which is not as good, to be honest, as I would prefer, but right now it's really hard to find webcams at a decent price because of the Rona. So I thought, I have a video that's saving right now for Patreon, but I know there are a lot of you who were wondering about the little pocket palettes. I got the Whiskey Painter pocket palette in. I also have the Schminke pocket palette, so we're going to take a look at it. And I have, what did I do with it? So we're going to look at some of my pocket palettes while we're here. That's what we're going to do. Thank you for the like. Thank you, I appreciate that. I can see the comments in this. It all comes up on my like screen. I can highlight comments, like I believe I can do that. There we go. How about that? Isn't that awesome? Can y'all see that? That's like so friggin' awesome to me. Yeah, and I didn't get the pro version, and I had a discount code, so that was pretty wonderful. So we're gonna look at pocket palettes for a few minutes because lately I have been obsessed with pocket palettes. Okay, first we're gonna talk about these two. So when I showed y'all this one that I had gotten from Amazon, and I talked about how it came with the little paints and I took the paints out. Well, the lady that I got the Whiskey Painter palette from on eBay, she also sent me some. I took the paints out because I have my own paints, but I've noticed a difference. So they look very similar, like you can barely tell them apart. The one from Amazon is shiny. You can see that it's shiny, and this one is matte. This one is a tad heavier than this one, just a tad. You can tell a little bit of the difference. This one has the whiskey palette thing on the back. Otherwise, if you look at them, they're pretty similar. So I have pretty much different colors in them. I think they're different shades of some of the same colors, but they're different. And I wanted to be able to have a variety of them because, like, I'm used to having a bigger palette. I mean, this is my small to medium palette. Y'all gonna have to excuse all the noise. This is one of my bigger palettes, and I've got to readjust because, like, I've got some colors that are set aside right now, like these go in here. Let's move these. Like these go in here. I've got some stuff to put back in. This is my actual desk palette. I use this one a whole lot. I've got the Schminke palette, and I just took 4 of the ones in here out of here to put in this Schminke palette. And then I have this one, which is the Da Vinci palette from Denise's Earth Friendly. And I love this palette too. The only thing I don't like about this palette is there's no like Payne's Gray or neutral tint or anything. I have to mix it myself or use one of my other paints. So that works pretty well. Okay, so when it comes to these travel palettes, I wanted something that I could stick in a wrap or in a little bag or something like that, and throw like my little art. If I wanted a small, like if I have, like I have this bag and it has this right here, and I could throw all of this in there and throw it around my journal, and that would be like, that would be all I need. So I could throw like this in there, some water brushes or the little water thing, and I'd be good to go. You know, it wouldn't take a whole lot of work to get it going. I even have this little tiny palette. Wish I drew and painted more. Journals are boring. Messy scribbles are good. Messy scribbles are good. So, and you know, watch Talks from the Heart. She does watercolor backgrounds. She adds collage, pieces of collage and stickers and all kinds of things to her journal pages. And I sometimes add things that I get in the mail or that I get in my everyday life, like a fortune cookie or, you know, whatever you can do. If you can write letters and draw like a square and a circle and a triangle, you can make some doodles. I promise. So that's this one. Now the one that I've had for a long while is this arttoolkit.com with Samantha Dion Baker. It started out with the colors that she uses, and I added some of my own colors. And so I have like a lot of colors in here, and I can use this one. And it's really thin, and it can go with me. That would be really easy to put in its bag and take with me. But I fell in love. One of you were talking about it, and I had saw this on eBay. And I was like, I don't need another travel palette. But I'm in love. I'm obsessed and in love with travel palettes. I'm obsessed and in love with travel palettes. This is the Schminke, and it looks like, you know, a flask. I could actually put me some wine in there, man. Pour some wine in my... Just kidding. But you put water in here, and you can actually pour the water in here, and you have your own little mixing, you know, and it goes like that on there. And it has a little thumb thing. How cool is that? And then you open it up, and it came with 8 colors. Where's my box? What did I do? I don't know. I had the box, but I've lost the box. It's in here somewhere. But it came with 8 colors, and I added 4 of my own. I added the blue. I added the ones that you really use, like this transparent orange. I like the metal ones too. I like the metal ones. I have a plastic one that I haven't used in probably 3 years. The paint's probably all dried up. It's in a bin in those Calex units. But I added some of my own in here. And so I love this thing, y'all. I love this thing. I love how these work. And when the bag that the whiskey palette one came in, it actually fit in there, and you can actually do the little drawstring. Whereas the one that I came from Amazon, that little black bag, it barely fit in there, and you definitely couldn't tie the strings. So I like that too. I don't know. No, they're not the same brand. This one came from Amazon. It's a No brand. Excuse me. It's called a Bijou box. B-I-J-O-U. So I'm guessing it's French. or Italian, because this one is made in Italy. This is the Schmincke one. They have other ones that come like this. These are a little bit heavy. These are, Winsor & Newton came out with some like this a long time ago. They're kind of hard to find and expensive. This one was an excellent deal. It was much cheaper than you normally would pay for it, even without Schmincke watercolors. But, so I was really lucky that I got such a great deal on it. So, and they're artist grade watercolors that came with. And I'm never, you know, I'm always about watercolors. So, even if I'm just plopping watercolor down for a background. So, I thought we would, I flipped things around again, but I thought we might go in and swatch some watercolors, and I can talk and swatch, but I can't talk in art. I can't talk and do some things, but I can actually talk and swatch. So we're gonna do that. And oh, I might have to do this. It's not wanting to really stay down. Maybe I'll do it in the other journal. I'll do it in the other journal because this one's not wanting to lay flat. And I wanted to kind of, okay, this one will lay flat. So this is Tomoe. This is the Wonder 222 journal, the Tomoe River journal, and it's become my, like, what I'm doing creatively and my planning out things and journaling out, like, I will talk about, like, not journaling, but journaling, like writing out what I want to do for the day, the scripting my day, manifesting your day, how morning pages in a way, but not. It's getting the things out of my head that I want to do for the day. Like, you'll see if you look, like, it says today, and it's got writing, and there's the little bijou box, and this says today, and these are some of the things I want to draw for a PDF for Patreon. I was doing some planning, but I soon realized after about almost a week, half of a week, almost a week in here, that I really didn't want, and I've got the habit tracker, which I'm going to go ahead and keep doing in here, because I'm in here I'm in here almost every single day. The only day I haven't been in here was Sunday. Excuse me, allergies are kicking my butt. Oh. So, tomorrow would have been a whole week that I've been in here. I've been switching things every week. So now I'm going back to the standard. And, but this one I did differently. Like Monday, I just did it differently. I wrote down little notes because it wasn't like a work day. And, I started this, and then I was like, you know what? I got too much other stuff to do. I'm gonna see. And so I wrote out some chat stuff. And I thought, well, I like the to-do list better in the standard. And I'm thinking, well, I could just keep my calendar and my to-do list together, which is how I've been planning for years. And then the rest of this stuff in here, you know, sorting out my creativity and what I'm doing and how I want to do it without to-do list or time charts or any of that. So what a good way to start, like, changing things up and transforming how I'm using something than to swatch some watercolors. If you don't know what to do, swatch watercolors. So, everybody with me? Can you hear me okay still? Is everything okay? I just want to make sure that everything is still okay. Because this is the first time I've gone live with Ecamm. I have recorded with Ecamm, but I have not gone live with Ecamm. So this is my first experience actually really going live. I think I might have went live with it once. Or I think I just recorded it and I had the little logo on there. Well, now that I've purchased it, I tried the trial version. I went through it for like a week. And, y'all, it's worth it to me because OBS and even Streamlabs OBS, Do they work with a Mac? Yes, but they don't work as well with a Mac as they do with Windows. And I can use my Windows computer, which is right over there. You love Talks from the Heart. You're wanting to put together an art practice book and wondering if you should have a book just for paint and pen swatches, and that what would be good paper for that. Okay. So if you want like a practice book, you love watching swatches. Okay, let me get started on this before I lose my train of thought. Okay, so when I very first started doing the Fobonichi and stuff like that, everybody kept telling me to use either mixed media paper or Tomoe River paper or something like Histology, something, or what you could, or the, like, now they've got like olive and the Archer and Olive and stuff like that. Personally, I think if you can learn how to watercolor on, and y'all, the girl, she's over there practicing on her motorcycle. She's in like where you do motorcycle racing. I can't think of the word for it right now, but she has the gear and everything. So if you hear the motorcycle going by, I apologize. But she's out there practicing, and I'm all for her practicing. I wish I could see her. She's my neighbor, and I wish I could see her when she actually is, you know, doing the racing. That's okay. You didn't. That's okay. I think if you really want to learn how to control watercolor, even with just swatching watercolor, and you want to practice, mixed media paper is probably your best bet. And if you want a decent journal, Bree from Document to Journey has journals that you can get with just Strathmore mixed media paper in it. And they're great to start with. You can get like I think she has 50, some that are 50 pages, and then some that are like 100 pages. She even has one that's a little bit less expensive, that's like a little insert. But it's pretty fantastic paper all on its own, mixed media paper. And mixed media paper is great because it's a step down from watercolor paper. From, you know, mixed media paper is for all different types of media, wet media, dry media. You can use colored pencils on it. You can use stamps on it. You can use markers on it. I don't know about Copic markers, but you can use watercolor markers or Tombows or the Zigs or whatever, like Artesa's watercolor markers. Everybody's got all different kinds of watercolor markers now. But you can use a variety of different mediums, and that's why it's called mixed media, is a lot of people use mixed media for different mediums. So that's a good, Tomoe River paper will hold up to a lot of things. And I love it because it does hold up to a lot of things. But I like how the watercolor does on Tomoe River paper. It because the surface is a little slick, it doesn't actually get absorbed by the paper. It dries on top of the paper. So it's different than what you're, you know, it's different than like mixed media paper or watercolor paper, because those absorb the water from the watercolor, the wet, they absorb it, if that makes sense. So I'd either try, or you could get a journal with a mixture of mixed media and Tomoe River paper. They're blank though. They don't have like dots or anything or grid on it. Hers are blank. They're fantastic though. They are absolutely fantastic journals. I have one somewhere, but they're fantastic. I'm looking to see if I see one right that I could like easily get to. But so let's swatch some watercolors and we'll talk some more, because I if I had it all over to do again, what did I do with my paper? Okay. Tomoe River paper gets crinkly, so does Histology paper. Some people like the crinkle, some people don't. So it just depends on your personal preference. I think what I like to do sometimes is I'll swatch watercolors, and then I'll go in, especially when ever sneeze so hard you... Okay, is anybody let me go over to YouTube because he's gonna have to go. Is somebody in the do I have a what you call it? Jen, are you still here? Can you get rid of him? Okay. Yeah, there's a lag on my end. What in the hell? Damn it. Okay. The thing I like to do when it comes to watercoloring swatches like this is, if you really like to journal, yeah, that was very, yeah. Is for people who like to text journal, you could use something like Noodler's Lexington Gray, and you could, which is waterproof, let it dry really good, and then you could swatch over it, or you could swatch and then write over it, but it's not as easy to see what you've written when you have watercolor, when you have some kind of background. Your writing is not as visible. Okay, it's not as visible whenever you have watercolor. Now, Schminke is very translucent watercolor, and that's what these are. These are Schminke. As I get through some of the other watercolors, you'll see they'll be a lot more bold. But the moment that this stuff really starts to dry on here, especially the more watercolor is on the paper, the more crinkly it can get. All right. Make sure I'm not missing. Okay. How gorgeous is that? That's like, I love that. Okay. So, hey. Okay, so we're gonna go to this one. And see, I tried to choose different colors for each palette. The Schminke one came with its own, but some of these are granulating watercolors, and some of these are like more mineral. Like some of them are actual genuine, so they have real minerals and stuff in them, so they're gonna look a little bit different. So what I'm just gonna do this because I don't want to. I'm not gonna make a bunch of squares down there. Thank you. So the fun thing is that you can, if you've got some stuff that came in your mail or some pictures of things. We celebrated Victor's birthday Sunday, and I have some pictures to print out. So I could technically put some pictures down on this and journal about his birthday. I could take some of the wrapping paper and add some pictures, and I've got swatches of watercolor. I could do some journaling. I could do all kinds of things. I think I missed a red. I did. So we're going to do this right here because I just missed a whole entire color. This is what happens when you talk. So you could add a stamp of something that you really like. Stamp something in if you really liked it. Ooh, that's that pretty. I love this purple, y'all. I know the rest of them are not this big, but I love that purple. For One Book July, are you also simplifying the art supplies you use in your planner journal, or are you just focusing on the books and the setup within the books? Oh no, that's where I'm playing around with all these. I just made things way more complicated before I simplified. I've been obsessed with the travel palettes. I've been obsessed with them. So I've been trying to figure out, this is Moon Glow. And Bree showed me that color. I fell in love with that color. That one is all Bree's fault. And Moon Glow is all John Rush's fault. Now, isn't that pretty? I like that too. Okay. Yeah. So, I am trying to organize things and simplify things a little bit better. I asked my daughter today about some colored pencils. I have a bunch of Crayola Super Tips. I have a bunch of Crayola colored pencils. I have a bunch of things that could go in a bag. I have a pretty big bag. Now I have a bag of stuff for Victor already. I got Victor his own set of Crayola Super Tips, and he's got some other stuff in there. But with starting school this year, again, part of it, I guess the first month or two or whatever, is going to be from home. And then he's also going to be, you know, as he's getting bigger, he's going to be doing more and more and more stuff. So I asked Maria, I said, because my daughter's an artist too. And I said, Maria, does Victor have any, you know, colored pencils for him? I said, because I've got a whole bucket full of colored pencils from Crayola that I could give to Victor if, you know, I said that you and Victor can use for projects for school. She was like, no, that's fine, Mom. We could use those. So I'm going to get all that stuff together, and I'm going to put it all in a bag. Get rid of 1 or 2 or 3 of my bags that I don't need, because I've got some up there. I've got some crates. I've got some shoe boxes. Things I don't need that just are sitting in there with a bunch of stuff in them that I don't need anymore, that are really old. And not for nothing. I want my journals that are paper, I want those in plastic bins or something that, you know, I don't want bugs or squirrels or whatever to get to them in the attic. And let's face it, sometimes you do get squirrels in your attic and stuff like that. So, or dust mites. Yeah, yuck. So, I'm trying to go through things slowly, and I'm just actually going through everything. And I've been putting some things in stacks in places on my floor in front of the closet, because I've been going through stuff in the closet and stuff on my craft table and in my cart back there. So I can get rid of some things. And I'm not talking about because they're not good enough or whatever, but I don't need a set of Crayola Super Tips, a set of Prismacolor, a set of Crayola. I don't need 2 sets of Crayola Super Tips. How many blank journals do you have? Not very many. I have probably 5 or 6 actual completely blank journals. I probably have 10 journals that are 1/4 to 1/2 to 3/4 of the way filled, that I kind of go back and forth. and go back and forth in. And then I have probably about 5 to 10 that are half filled that I may never go back to because I just didn't like the journal for whatever reason. Some journals I'll use like a half to 3/4 of the way through, and then I'll take the paper out of the back of them because I like the paper, but I don't necessarily like the journal. And I'll take the paper out and I'll use the paper for something else, or I'll make my own insert, or I use the paper and cut it into pieces to use to write little notes on, or to draw little doodles on, to add for bits and pieces to go in my journal. So y'all are gonna have to hold your ears for a minute because I can't turn the page until it's dry. So hold your ears. Sorry. Yeah, I want to get to a point, and I'm gonna keep, like, I have some things to keep here. I have a whole bag of stuff for Victor to play in. When I sit down with Victor, we use all kinds of things. We use markers, we use watercolors. I've got a set of those koi watercolors and a set of those, the ones that came from Michael's that are the really chalky kind. I've got different older watercolors that I have things of that me and Victor play with. That's what I got the jelly gouache for, was for me and my daughter and Victor, for us to make projects with and to have fun with, and for me to practice and learn with. But I want to have a separate thing, because now that, I mean, Victor turns 8 tomorrow, and he's getting bigger, and he loves art and he loves music. So I want to encourage those things, you know, a lot. And I want to be able to hand him colored pencils and, you know, markers and all different kinds of things. Watercolors, real watercolors. You know, there are a lot of adults that are using the koi watercolors. He's got more than one kind of watercolor. He's actually got some student grade watercolors, and not just cheap watercolors, you know. And we practice with things. He's got his own. He's got his own little set of water brushes. He has his own set of paint brushes, which you see me use sometimes when I'm using like gouache. These are Faber-Castell brushes for kids. They're synthetic, and these are actually Victor's. And I use them sometimes because they are synthetic when I use things like gouache, or when I use something like this, because they're synthetic, they won't really absorb the stuff into the brushes. I don't use my real sable or squirrel or whatever brushes, because I don't want it to absorb that stuff. So his brushes stay on my desk so they don't get messed up. And whenever it's time and me and him sit, like, I'll bring the chair in and he'll sit at the craft table over here, and he'll sit there and I'll sit here, and I'll film, especially if I'm gonna do something with a voiceover, and he'll be creating his art and I'll be creating my art, and we have fun. Well, now that Maria has the baby, the only time I really get to do that with him is if he spends the night here and it's just him, and his sister's not around, because she'll be 1 next month and she's into everything right now. So she's not allowed to come in this art room. Okay, so now we're going to turn the page. Hear the crinkle? Okay. So because I got this wet, we're gonna do this. So where was I? I was at the yellow ochre color. My style has been evolving. I know a lot of people can see, like, they'll see the little coffee cups, or they'll see like the little foodie things or whatever, and a lot of people equate that to my style, which is sort of my style, because I do like to do that Like when I did the page, when I did Monday, the ring that David got me for my birthday came in, but my mom and I ate leftover Chinese food that me and my mom and David had for Sunday for dinner. And I finally opened up my fortune cookie, and it said, "An inch of time is an inch of gold. Time is very precious." And I drew the fortune cookie and I added it right there. You know, and I do love to do those kinds of things. I like to do those kind of doodles, like fortune cookie or something like that. Those are some of my favorites. Am I doing the same? No, I'm not doing the same one. Okay. I was about to say, I don't want to. So, part of what I love about having a journal, like, I used to text journal mostly. I would add pictures, everyday real life ephemera like ticket stubs and receipts, tickets, tabs, tags, pictures, all kinds of stuff. I would add that stuff to my journal. Every now and again, I might doodle a little. I might play around with different colored pens or gel pens or something, but I didn't do art. Oh, that's the same color. I didn't really do art in there. And then I got involved. Where did that come from? I got involved and hooked with the journal and the planning community, and started seeing all these journals of Hobonichis, and that's okay. You're good. I started seeing how people were doing their daily journaling in Hobonichis and Fobonichis and all that kind of stuff, and I fell in love. I love these dark colors. Oh my god, I love these dark colors. Okay. So that was, you know, that, and I didn't care. I mean, and in the beginning, I kept seeing these people were posting their pictures of their journal pages daily in the Fobonichi group, which I would be great with if people wanted to do in the Journey with Burgess group. I need to get back to posting my pictures daily in that group. I just haven't. I've been trying to learn so much and switch things around and get to the point where I understand what the hell I'm doing with the difference between Mac and Windows. The learning curve. I got some music from YouTube's audio library, and it ended up in my documents folder on the iMac, and I went to open the music folder, and it wasn't in the music folder. This is neither astrology nor a Hobonichi. This is a B6 Wonder Book 222. I got it off of Etsy, and it's 52 GSM Tomoe River paper. It is like a 4 3/4 by a 5 by a 6 3/4. So it's a 1/4 of an inch, give or take, shorter and less wide than an actual B6. I forget I'm in some journaling groups. Yeah, just request and say you saw me on YouTube. I told you to come on over. But I need to get back into the practice of posting pictures. And what happened is I kept seeing people, and people were posting their Fobonichi pages. Some people were doing it in a Fobonichi. Some people were doing it in a Hobonichi. Some people were doing it in those Miguel Ruiz journals. Some people were doing them in composition notebooks. It was all different kinds of notebooks people were using. But I found that if you use composition notebooks, you really need to, it's easier to glue the pages together so you got some oomph behind you. Otherwise, they'll what is that term? They'll bead. The little pieces of paper will come up if you use too much water. And I like water with my watercolor. But the way that I looked at pages was there were people who had the best, like so amazing, such amazing drawings. And then there were people who, thank you, Jelena, because it's not in my description, because I've switched to eCam, and I've got to redo my description for YouTube, so it goes in there. I'm learning. There's so much to do. But you get intimidated by people who are really, really good. But I noticed there were other people who were like me who were learning. Yeah, answer the questions, please. But you can get intimidated. It had been 30 years since, I think, almost, since I had done any art. You know, other than DIY projects at home, I hadn't really done much art. So I was really rusty. I had forgotten more than I remembered when it came to art. So it was difficult. And, but the more that I did it and the more that I practiced, the better that I got. And what I've noticed is, and my husband will tell you, whenever I'm having fun with something, if I draw like a palette or I draw something from real life, a bird, a tree, a porch, a chair, it can be anything. Whatever I'm drawing, if I'm having fun and I'm just sketching and doodling and just enjoying the process, and I'm looking forward to having the watercolor on there or whatever, I do a lot better. When I get all serious about it and I'm like, oh yeah, I can get, oh my God, then I don't do as well. But if I just sketch and I have fun and I'm practicing and I think about it as having fun and practicing, I do a lot better job. A lot better job. Yeah, I can't, I mean, I can follow somebody else and do it, but mine's never going to look exactly like somebody else's. I mean, it will look similar, but it's never going to look exactly like somebody else's. And I don't care how great a YouTube video they have for how to, mine's never going to look exactly the same. It's never going to look. For example, the other weekend, we spent the weekend, busy doing house stuff. So I got the palette. I did my little platinum carbon desk pen, which this looks too shorty and squatty, but I know what it is. I can recognize it is what it is. This is an Escoda travel brush, supposedly. You know, this is my little travel palette. So we had went to Lowe's. We got cement filler. We got brushes. We got paint. We got rollers and the little things that go inside the pan. You know, so I did these. I journaled and then I did these. This was last weekend. So I've been trying, I need to do something for this past weekend for Victor's birthday. So it's time for me to journal about the week and then draw some things from the week. I'm trying to get back to doing things daily. But what I find is if I don't put the pressure on myself to do it daily, then what happens is I do more stuff like this, where I drew the little ring and I drew the fortune cookie and I drew the little palette, and I'll get to a point where I'm not, that's where when it came in, where I'm drawing more on my own and I'm not pressuring myself. I want to do world watercolor prompts so badly this month, but it's all I can do to get my writing and my regular journaling, and the other things, yep, I have on glue ones, but they do, yeah. My nails have taken a real beating with us doing the floors. I've been using cement putty and scraping, and so my nails are all like almost to the quick there. So but that's what I'm trying to do, is do like on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, I'll journal about the weekend, about last week or the weekend or whatever. I'll journal how that week went, and then it is. I like the Stology paper, but to be honest, I'm a Tomaway River fan. I like Stology paper. I'd even go so far as to say it's up there in the top. But to me, there isn't anything that beats Tomaway River paper. Now, I love mixed media paper, but that's for a completely different kind of thing. You had a Rios journal and it fell apart just sitting on the shelf. I don't know what Miguel Ruiz journal, or I don't know what a Rios. A Ruiz or a Miguel Ruiz journal, or is a Rios journal something I don't. Stology is your favorite right now. Yeah. I have B6 and it's easy, the same thing, and it does crinkle, but it's a little bit more slick, I think, than Tomoe River paper. But yeah. See, this is mixed media paper. This is the Planner Perfect insert, and like I did some stuff right here. Miguel Ruiz, yeah, I've got one. I've still got one, but so I did some little journaling things right here, and I'm gonna go back in and do some more. And I was thinking about doing some things sort of similar to this for my patrons, doing some more, and then maybe just scanning this because I've made them super small so they'd actually be kind of cute as stickers, I think. But and this paper is really nice. Like, let's see, so you can get an idea. I won't do it on this side. We'll do it right here. I'm a big B6 person. I like B6 standard, and I like B6 and standard the best. So this is mixed media paper. And this looks really pretty on mixed media paper, but I think it looks prettier on Tomoe River paper. But like I said, that's just mine. There's people who like cartridge paper. There's people who like sketchbooks, watercolor paper. There's people who do their journals in all different kinds of. Archer and Olive has good paper in their journals. I like their journals. I just prefer Tomoe River paper. There's some people who like to do art on Tomoe River paper, but they don't like to say they don't like to glue things in. They only like to do art on it. Alright. So we can see some of these are the same colors in, there you go. And you can see they look different. Like, you don't see as much of the granulation. B6 Slim is something that for me works really well as a bullet journal. Yes, a B6 Hobonichi. Yes, and this is as close as I've come to a B6 Hobonichi. It feels very much, and I guess because it has the timeline on the left here, if you look at it, let's look at it kind of close. Okay, this is what the pages look like. You have the time going down right here. You have a thing right here for the date, which if you want to use your date stamp, or you could write over it, or you could do this. You see this faint line right here that is a little bit darker right in here? You can use that to separate, like to do a weekly, you know, but it's not so dark that it would get in your way to do journaling. As you can see, I've still done my journaling. See, I just put my weather over that one, and right there I wrote today over it. See, Okay, you just trimmed all your inserts to standard for your standard and love the slimmer profile for portability. You've turned it into a wallet planner waiting for your bomb coochie pouch as we speak. All right, Hobo and B6 would be heaven. I use B6 Slim for work bullet journal. The only problem with B6 is finding good cheap covers. They have those clear plastic jelly ones, which are wonderful. And they also have inexpensive cloth ones and the I don't know, it's not plastic, it's something, it feels like vinyl maybe. They have some of those in B6 on Etsy, and those are cheap on Etsy. They have some that are under 20 bucks for B6 on Etsy, which is not bad at all. I've been using a B6 for a long time now. B6 like really hardcore since my dad died, and that'll be 3 years in October. And I've tried to go back to A5 at the beginning of One Book July, and another time this year I tried to go back to A5, and it's too much real estate for me right now, which is really funny because I used to go through A5 like, you know, but I don't know. And I think we changed, and now I used to do a lot more text writing, and now I do more drawing and more art, and I do some journaling. I mean, you can see I do text, I do stuff, but I no longer and I have a journal where I can write more in, but you know, I think it's important for us to experiment a little bit. That's one of my favorite things about Miss Vicky B, is that she makes me feel like it's okay to switch up or to try things. This webcam is a little bit yellow. I'm seeing the difference. This is white and this is more yellow, and it has to do with the lighting. And I'm sorry, but yeah, this is pretty good though. I've got it pretty close. I could make this a little bit more yellow and it might help a little, but I like B6, and see, like I said, this one is a tiny bit, let's get the B6. Okay. You love the Chic Sparrow for your B6 and have a bunch on clearance right now. Oh. Okay, so this is the B6 Stology, and I've done art in it. This was really my bullet journal, so there's not going to be as much art in this, but there is a little bit. Like there's a little copy thing. Those are watercolored. Those are watercolored. That I watercolored. That's plopping watercolor and then journaling over it. I like Chic Sparrow, okay. But I like Victor signed his own name. I like I have what is it? I have one of her Hobonichi Weeks covers in a blue that is really nice. But I don't need any covers. I just had a friend send me some covers, and I don't need any covers. I like to rotate some, but once I find like my favorites, I'll use it, and then I'll switch up a little bit. And I've been debating on switching up. I think I'm gonna use the purple definitely in October. But yeah, so many choices. I know. And I like red, I like black, I like purple, I like blues. I like the bright jewel tone colors. Like I like the really vibrant greens, and I like especially emeralds, and I like turquoise, and I like red. I like coral, but I don't like orange, like yellow orange, but I do like orange. Like I love like this, like there's some of these colors are really pretty. Like this one. You know, I like that one. Not a big fan of this. And there's a difference between those two. But I would love to have one in every color pretty much in B6. I'd like to have one in every color. And I'm getting close. But I like colors. And I love black. I would like to have every size in black. And I could technically just use black or red or purple pretty much all year round and be fine. So yeah, but if you want to try something and you're not sure about what paper, you could make yourself an insert. You could buy paper and make yourself an insert, or you could get an insert from somewhere, like my pink one. Oh, the new one I got, or the red one. I just got sent some new ones. This is one, and it's a sheet sparrow, and isn't that cute? So I'm thinking this might be pocket or field note size. I'm not positive. I love that. That one's about to go in my purse. This is from JT King Leather, and it's this coral color, and it's gorgeous. This I was using last year. And then this was an A5 from Janelle that I had cut down to B6, and it has a journal that I made in it. And that's me in first grade, and that's my son in first grade, and then that's my daughter, and my son and my daughter. You can tell my son looks just like me. And that was Victor. But see, I draw all kinds of things. This was Hurricane Florence. Okay, and then yeah, I like the pockets on the front. I like the pockets on the front, and then it has pockets on the inside. Thought about using this for One Book July, and I might actually switch into it. And then I just got sent this one, and I'm thinking I'm gonna use this one at Christmas. It's B6, and isn't that gorgeous with the trees? Isn't that beautiful? So this one I'm gonna use at Christmas. and maybe even Valentine's. But these are just some. But I love that. I'm thinking, I love this with its little pockets. I could actually use this as a wallet and take this out and put like a smaller, like an actual insert in, instead of this notebook. Put like a, I have one of those plastic inserts, but I think it's passport size, but I could get the field note size. And so I think this is pocket or field notes, and I don't know enough about the sizes to know the difference, but I like that one a lot too. Deep green or gray? Gray is very neutral. I like gray. I like gray, but if I get gray, like I like the really pale silvery gray or the really dark gray. Green just sounds really pretty to me. Deep green just sounds really pretty to me. And I like neutrals. I like gray. I mean, I got black. That's so neutral. So, like, not. Field notes and pocket are the same size. Well, that's good to know. But yeah, I was thinking about, I could actually use this as a wallet, except that I've got that A6 with the Moterm cover that I'm using as a wallet, and it's working really well as a wallet and a notebook. But I like this. I can't fill my whole purse up with a bunch of Traveler's notebooks, so I don't know. But yeah, I've given a lot of thought. I need to clean this one though. I really need to clean it. You're showing up. So I think I think I was using this maybe at the beginning of the year. So that's, thank you. I redid my settings, y'all. I realized I had some things set at 60 frames per second, and my webcams, well, that did make it easier then. I hope the gray is that really pretty gray. But I think one of the things is that now I've got the settings set correctly. Like, so now everything's set at 30 frames per second instead of the other thing, you know, so it's not filming at 30 frames per second and then trying to save at 60 frames per second anymore. So that's made a big difference. So I am back in the standard for the to-do list and journaling. This is the Lulu Lime insert, and I love the red stitching. The red, I love that. They're sewn, and this is Tomaway River paper. It is 52. And then this is the Rock Your Notebook. And Paper Penguin. I said in my last live video, I thought it was overseas. It's in Texas. It's something else. It's Penguin. Is it Penguin Creative? It's something that is not, but where you get the inserts from, she's in Texas. It's a Nightingale. It's a light gray. Oh, I bet it will be gorgeous. So this is from Rock Your Notebook, and they are stitched. She has the white stitching. These are the dot grid, and I want to say this maybe is the 81. The 80 pages. So I just stuck the thing on the back, and I'll be getting more of these blank Tomaway River paper inserts that are so beautiful from Lulu Lime, and then I'll be getting some more either from Paper Penguin or Penguin Paper or Paper, I think it's Paper Penguin, or Rock Your Notebook with the grid. I'm going to compare Rock Your Notebook and Paper Penguin, yeah, I think that's what it's called. Y'all, I'm so tired and so hungry. So I'm going to get going because I'm starved and it's almost 8 o'clock, y'all. And I don't even know how long I've been on here. So I'm happy though. I've got a good setup. I love, see, this is what I do. This is what I do, y'all. That came off of the tool that we bought from Lowe's, one of the tools, and it's going to be going in my journal. And see, like in here, I have some washi tape stuff, and I'm going to be using that measuring tape, washi tape pretty soon. And then I've got to fill this one back up. And then I've got a ruler in there. So I need to fill that one back up. I need some more daily, I need some more of this washi. And then so far so good with everything else. Like I'm doing really well in the bullet journaling department, and I'm doing really well in the journaling, regular daily kind of journaling, as long as I'm not pressuring myself. I am doing really good with my writing. I'm almost 1999. Thanks for being you. Oh, you're so sweet. I think one of the things that has really helped me so much is that I am not stressing myself out over what I'm not doing. I'm giving myself a pat on the back for what I am doing. And what I am doing is having fun. I'm practicing. I am doing journaling. I am doing drawing. I am doing some watercoloring. I'm practicing. But I'm not trying to pressure myself. It's my damn birthday month, y'all. So I'm going to sit down, I think, tonight while we're watching TV, and I'm going to draw some things from this past week and weekend, and then I'll do some journaling, and I'll set up tomorrow, and maybe I'll do some stuff, and I think maybe I'll work on in my sketchbook or in this where I've already kind of started these, and I'll draw some more of those little things, and then I can either white this out or leave it in there and just do a bunch of little doodles and scan that to make a PDF for my patrons, because I love these kinds of things for stickers. I like the stickers that look like somebody watercolored them and that don't look like picture perfect. So that's where I'm at, y'all. Now I'm going to go find some dinner, and I will see y'all again really soon. Now I got to figure out how to get out of this. Bye, y'all. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed, subscribe. The link is in the chat, but if you're watching this in the replay, you can look up Journey with Burgess. It's a group on Facebook, and then just answer the questions. And, you know, you saw it live on YouTube. Bye, y'all. Thanks.